Peace and love. Let's do a mid-month Lenormand reading for our water signs, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, as we're heading into the new year. I'll be using the Egyptian Lenormand and then also the matching tarot deck for clarification at the end. So let's see. Spirit, what messages do you have for the water signs, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, as we are moving into February? Whenever you come across these readings, there might be some messages in for you. These readings for me are always timeless. So if you see them, consider listening. All right, Spirit, what messages do you have for Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio as we're heading into February? Thank you. This deck is beautiful to me, but some of the cards are confusing. Some of them look exactly the same. The person who created this deck went for the beauty for certain. The beauty is here, but sometimes the Lenormand imagery is not clear. If you're interested in that, I have a review of this deck on my other channel, The Compassionate Oracle, where I go over all the cards. And even with me going over them, you have to know the number. And I read Lenormand by the picture more so than the number. I don't even glance at the number sometimes. Sometimes I do, depending. But this one here is the bear. This is a hippopotamus. But this is the bear energy in this deck. This is the child. This is the moon. The clover. The fish. And the book. Already this is similar to the Libra reading. So you could have Libra in your chart. Or for me, energetically, when I read spiritually. So these are things that we all could be going through right now. Spirit is saying to allow yourself to be guided. You're moving in a beautiful direction here with the stars, okay? Things opening up for you. Success, ultimate success. If you continue to move forward. There could have been blockages here with the mountain here, with the mountain card. But Spirit is saying don't let that discourage you. Continue to move forward. Messages coming in. Swift movement eventually here with the rider, as we see the speed indicated in this card. Strife. This is similar to the water signs, so look back at that one. All right, so let's see here. Give me a minute. I'm still recovering from a little bit of a illness, so I have my tea with me. I'm gonna get a quick sip. So we have the bear or the hippo. That's the energy of leadership for me. So moving into a position of leadership for yourself. That was also in the last reading. But also this deals with nurturing the self as well with the bear. Underneath it, we have the clovers. So nurturing and caring for your body, caring for your being, caring for the self. It's going to bring about happiness as we move into the rest of the month and move into February. So doing little things that can bring you joy. It could be something as simple as lighting a candle, having a cup of tea, having a bubble bath, going for a walk. Anything that can bring a sense of joy and happiness into your life is going to be beautiful for you and healing for you as we move into the month. I also get that same energy here with these three cards. With the child deals with innocence. Also, obviously, a childlike energy, being playful, being lighthearted, right? Abundance comes to you in this form because we have the clovers here, and clovers we know grow abundantly. So this is how you find your abundance right here and right now, by nurturing your body, nurturing yourself, and delighting in the small things in life. We already saw the stars earlier, so we know we're allowing ourselves to be guided towards some type of success here. We have it on the board. We have it on the table for us because we have the moon. The moon in Lenormand represents recognition that can come with career success, spiritual success, anything that's going to bring about that abundance and that reward for us. We know what we need, right? Things will start to move forward and flow. We saw the mountain earlier. So there have been some blockages with our movement. Looking at this ring, this is really similar to the air signs. We have seen blockages. Could have been blockages with our finances. Spirit is saying there will be a change with that. If we allow ourselves to slow down, some of us need to slow down on our spending. Okay. Also with the childlike energy of the child, the idea of something being small. So cutting back on our spending if we can, and only going towards the essentials. The hippo for me, or the bear, deals with savings, things that we can do over time to benefit our lives, right? And so making sure that we're putting our money into investments, investing in ourselves. All right. And so not just letting everything flow out of the home and putting some things away here for safekeeping if we can. It's not always possible, but we want to work towards that. That's what we're working towards. Happiness comes and we're moving forward when we're learning. So some of us, we need to learn a new skill. Maybe we need to enroll in a class, go back to school. It's not even about that all the time. Sometimes you can pick up a book on a subject that you're interested in. But with the book underneath the moon, Spirit is also saying that sometimes knowledge is not what you read, it's just what you know intuitively. It's being in connection with Spirit here with these two energies. So making sure that we're tapping in with the spiritual body, the spiritual self, and we're allowing that to move us forward, to be our guides, and not being so wrapped up on things that we just read and that we see right in front of us. Not getting the full picture with that. Having to go within intuitively to understand our movements forward here. With the ring, it's not a ring, this is a child, but they have this little toy here, this movement, and then we have the movement here with this canoe. There's happiness out here for us if we're nurturing ourselves. There's happiness out here for us if we're being lighthearted with our energy, if we're not taking things so seriously, if we're allowing ourselves to be playful, if we're resting ourselves as well with the moon, sleeping at night if we can. Spirit is saying for some of us, reading at night can help us. For those of you who are having difficulty falling asleep, maybe something you might be interested in, a subject you might want to learn, or spending some time reading at night can be beneficial for you and your foundation. Also, I'm getting the energy as well of not just reading, but writing, journaling at night. Writing your thoughts down, writing down those ideas that can help you move forward. How do you want to move forward? What does that look like for you? How are you envisioning your days, right? What can bring about this lighthearted energy with the clover? What can make you happy? What makes you happy right here and right now? Taking some time to think about those things as we head into February. New beginnings are here with the childlike energy. The child is out here that can bring happiness into our lives, right? Every day is a new day to start fresh and to create a new vision. All right, so we saw this earlier, swift movement, messages coming in, people coming into our lives as well, right? All right, masculine energy. So for some, a message coming in from a man about maybe some opportunity here with money and a new beginning. But also, this masculine energy is just the energy of movement, doubled because we have the messenger. So those things that you want to move towards, those ideas, go for it. This is also an energy of leadership, all right? Being a leader in your life. Saying no to this. This also deals with swiftness. So after a moment of things not moving forward here with the mountain, getting prepared for swift movement in our lives. Once we hear that message, That message comes in through email, through a phone call, text, whatever. But we also have the moon out here, and we saw the stars earlier. So sometimes the messages come through spirit. So we want to make sure that we're aware of that as well. And we're opening ourselves up to that type of communication. But also, this is dealing with strife, negative people, negative environments. Standing up to that and saying no. That's also out here. Nurturing our bodies and ourselves and saying no to any energy that's going to drain us as we move into the new year. This is the time to stop it right here and right now. Or to at least say we want something different than last year. The anchor. Being safe, right? We want to make sure that we feel safe. But we also want to be in a position where we can remove this anchor and we can move forward. So we don't want to stay stuck in stagnant energy from last year or from the past, whenever you're listening to this. All right, Spirit. How do we move forward? How do we move forward? This new beginning is here. This new energy is here. This swiftness is here. How do we capitalize on it? We have the King of Pentacles, the Three of Wands, and the King of Cups. So, to me, this is a balance of what you're doing, your effort, all right? The physical labor that it takes to create what you want, the vision. Because the Three of Wands is a visionary. This person has sent that energy out into the universe. The Wands deal with creativity. It's something that they've created already, all right? Because the idea of the Wands, the Three of Wands in particular, is waiting for the ships to come in. But they can't come in unless you send something out. So how do you send it out? You have to work towards it with the Pentacle energy. The Pentacle deals with here and now, things that are tangible that we can touch, that we can feel. It's the effort that is realized through hard work, right? Putting that plant, that seed into the soil right here, right now. The masculine energy is the energy of movement. We saw it here with the writer. So it's not intuitive necessarily, all right? It's more we know what we need to do, and we're putting it into action. The wands deal with action. We have that out here. So this is nothing new for you with the King of Pentacles because you already know what it is. Otherwise, this energy wouldn't be out on the table. You know what the creation is. You know what the vision is that can put you in this position of power. Spirit is also saying the balance requires the intuitive know-how with this Moon card and the King of Cups. The King of Cups is it's an interesting energy because it's most powerful when it's open. But the King of Cups can also be a closed off energy. All of the cards can be. But definitely this masculine energy can be operating in a closed off fashion where he's moving on emotion, but not in the right way. A way that's detrimental where you're not able to see things spiritually, right? Letting things rule the emotional body. Anger, fear, all those things can be those difficult attributes of the King of Cups energy. So we want to have the positivity of that masculine energy of movement and drive with the intuitive know-how of the moon. These things have to be balanced. But like I said, Spirit is saying that you've already created something here. We're just waiting for it to come in. All right? But we're not waiting idly. We're still listening for those messages and we're still putting the work in. The Nine of Cups. Wish fulfillment. What is it that you want? Spirit is saying whatever you want, you can have. Maybe not in the exact way that you want it, but you'll have it in the exact way that Spirit and your higher self want for you. Because sometimes we can want so much in life, and you can bring about the Five of Wands energy, where you're doing too much and you're dealing with so many people, negative energy, 10 of Wands energy, your burdens are too much. Maybe you have exactly what you want, but spiritually it's too much. You're carrying too much, and the happiness won't last like that. All right, so we have to want what we want. I get that, but we also have to want what Spirit wants for us. All right, let's see. How do we bring about this balance, Spirit, with the King of Pentacles and the King of Cups? Security. So we're moving towards security. We're moving up towards our foundations, but also don't be so afraid of only thinking about your security that you're not able to take chances. Contentment. Similar message. Being content with where you are, being content with who you are, all right? Not wanting everything in the world, wanting what's right for you. We saw that earlier with spending. You don't need to have it all. You just need to have what's right for you. But not being so content that you're not able or you're not brave enough to make changes in your life. It's there as well. Sometimes this desire for security can keep us locked into situations that keep us financially secure. That's wonderful, right? But we're not necessarily spiritually happy. So we have to know the difference. Education, we saw that earlier. Trusting in our knowledge, trusting in our ability to know the next steps or to be informed. But also for some of us, going back to school, getting a new licensing, a new whatever. You know what's right for you. I'm going to pull one from this. We'll see. Even something as simple as reading at night to build your skills up. For some of us, the skills, the knowledge doesn't come from a book. It comes from spirit. So tapping into our spiritual body more. Doing our spiritual work more often. No more hiding. Beautiful. Amaterasu. Hiding from the sun. Allowing people to see who you truly are. Allowing you to see who you are, right? Stepping out of the shadows. Whatever you've created here, we're moving past security because we're moving into security, spiritual security, right? So we're moving past that idea that we need this and this and this and this and that to make us happy. We're moving towards a more spiritual life, a spiritual vision for the self, where we will be cared for because we have the King of Pentacles and we have the King of Cups. The kings are sitting pretty, right? That's a very powerful energy when it comes to abundance. All right? So security is here. But how do you want to bring about security in your life? If you have to hide to bring about your security, then that's the problem. Because true security comes in knowing who we are, being honest with that, being content with who we are, and showing up as this character, whoever you may be, right? That's the true security. That's your true contentment. All right, we'll be back in February, probably towards the end of January to post. I'll post the February readings to see where we are spiritually as we're moving forward. These readings that I do, I love Lenormand. I don't necessarily read it traditionally. I read it how I feel. But I love these cards because there's so much here. But I don't always just read the actual card. I read some of the symbols. I read all the things. I read the feelings. I work with spirit. So if you like Lenormand with a little hint of, a little mix of spiritual work, because that's what I do, then please consider liking and subscribing if you found anything helpful in this video. It's reciprocal, our energy here together. We're sharing together. And it will help me grow as a channel. It'll help others see this as well. All right, take care. Peace.